So,
what a missed opportunity. Get onto it, John. You know these people. You can get the merchandise.
Would you like to be on a flask?
Well, to be honest, that is one of the reasons I think the Doctor Who job is so hard. It's because you are on the flask, you're on the school lunchbox. You have to sometimes go on the school bus as Doctor Who to do sort of promotional tours of it. And I quite like sort of keeping my work on the set or you know, at the theatre and then going home and trying to be myself.
Now, before we talk about Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, which obviously we will, your gap year, you taught English to Tibetan children and some adults in a monastery near or on the Himalayas.
Yeah, it was in the foothills of the Himalayas in Darjeeling, just outside of Darjeeling, a little hill station.
That's got to be the poshest gap year I've ever heard about.
It was, well, it was quite rough and ready. It was a very cold, concrete sort of basement room that I was in, and what was amazing about it was the location. You'd open the window in the morning. It was their winter as well, so literal clouds would roll into your room like dry ice, but they were clouds. We were that high up, and you'd sort of be woken up at 5 in the morning by puja, the prayer ritual, which would be going on at the top of this converted Nepali house. It was amazing. It was quite hard, but...
And so, did you have to join in, or were you allowed to be the way you were?
They really wanted me to just be myself and bring whatever I had from home and just enjoy that, and it was just about having a Westerner and a different cultural sort of influence amongst them, and I think that was the fairest point of the exchange. I mean, I got to see everything they did, and it was just, it's extraordinary. It's a very hard life, but they have a lot of fun. They know how to have a good time. And
so the monks have a good time. How does it? What's a really good night for a monk?
They love watching. They loved watching Braveheart when I was there. And they were... So
monks. So hold it. Tibetan monks are big Mel Gibson fans.
Well, they like the idea that, you know, in that film they're the Scottish oppressed minority, and of course the English are the Chinese.
So they see that,
there was all of that, and it was an amazing experience.
Benedict will be seen very shortly in cinemas in just about one of the best British movies I've seen for years, with one of the best casts ever, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. We'll show you a clip and we'll talk about Benedict working with Gary Oldman and just John Hurt and the best British cast for donkey's years after the break. Don't go away. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Benedict Cumberbatch, ladies and gentlemen. We've been talking about Sherlock Holmes. We're just going to talk about Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. Before we do, though, if you were lucky enough to see, it was here in London at the National Theatre, was it? Was it the National Theatre? And it was also shown at some cinemas. They did a live theatre night. Benedict, with Johnny Lee Miller, they performed in a stage version of Frankenstein. You know, the great classic novel by Mary Shelley. It was directed by Danny Boyle, and you switched parts every other night, didn't you? We
did, yeah. Well, every night. I mean, every time we did it, it was alternating.
So you played the creature, the Frankenstein monster, one night, and the other night you played Dr. Frankenstein, Dr. Frankenstein. I saw you playing Frankenstein. The creature, rather. That was probably the more fun of the two roles, wasn't it?
It was the more unusual challenge, definitely. I mean, I enjoyed playing Dr. Frankenstein, Victor Frankenstein as well, actually, as he was in Oz, and the creature, though, was the exceptional last.
It's incredible. It started with you in what was kind of a synthetic womb almost on stage, I guess, and you could see, as the audience, as we were filing in, after a while you realised that there was someone in this kind of big, fleshy sack on stage, moving and writhing. It was a bit disconcerting. And then you popped out and you're naked on stage. You pop out covered in goo and naked. But I thought I saw you doing something while you were in the...
Oh, Lord.
In the sack.
Oh, Lord.
Am I right in this?
I thought you were being too clean.
Am I right in this?
I was stretching.
No,
my arms.
But I thought, OK, you were touching yourself.
What?
You were. And then we thought, well, if you're going to come out naked, you would want to be looking your best.
It's a hard thing to ask in an air-conditioned theatre full of 1,100 people, so especially when you're in that sack and you hear, oh, is it him? I wanted to see Johnny Lee Miller. And you're going, wow. I've got to move around the stage naked for 15 more minutes before I have, of course, reduced it to the silliest level, but it was a remarkable performance, and from both of you as well. I mean, he was great the night I saw him. I'd like to have seen him as the creature. I didn't get a chance to see that. All right, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, one of the most exciting and most anticipated cinematic events in my house, certainly. I've been looking for it so much. It's out on the 16th of September. I'm sure there must have been, everyone must have been excited about working with each other, because as a cast list, I don't think you could really fault it. There's Gary Oldman in it, and people are already saying that's a role that may well win him an Oscar. Certainly, I'm sure he'll be nominated. You have John Hurt in it, Mark Strong, there was Tom Hardy, you know, just an incredible cast. I think it was so good. I think Ian McKellen is in there. He's operating the photocopy in one of the scenes, just in the background. But it really is. Colin Firth, of course, as well. You know, what is that a good thing, or is that a daunting thing to go and think, OK, I'm working with the best in my profession, I've got to up my game? Is that well, that is a good thing. That kind of fear is a great thing, and you thrive off it.
Let's have a look at a clip. This is, as I said, September the 16th, and it really is. It's a very sophisticated, incredibly suspenseful, very grown-up movie, but it's just kind of sheer class. It's great. Have a look at this.
George,